Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Club. As far as I know, this is the 5th episode and I'm here with my co-host Faf9.
Hello.
How are you doing today? I hate saying co-host because it makes it seem
It makes
like,
me feel inferior.
yeah, co-host is
It's
such a
me.
nasty word.
Well, you can't say assistant either.
Yeah, I just say I'm here with my other host.
Well, that's pretty much a co-host, isn't it?
Yeah, but co-host sounds secondary, you know?
No, we're both co-hosts of the same podcast.
Yeah,
that's
we're
what
both,
makes sense.
but we don't have a host. We're both
yeah,
co-hosts.
we're co-hosts. Yep.
Yeah, we weren't lying in like the last episode or the episode before when we said this month is just going to be about Avengers Endgame
And Disney stuff related in general.
Because it is literally Disney, and then a tiny sprinkle of DC on top.
Yep, exactly. It's superheroes in general, pretty much.
Yeah, superheroes. Like, remember 3 years ago when you were getting the articles being like, superhero fatigue is going to come in soon.
It is real and it's coming very soon. Well, judging by tickets today, that it really isn't. It really isn't the case.
So basically, Avengers Endgame. Disney dropped the tickets today worldwide, and it was clusterfuck.
Oh, God.
And we will get on to our personal stories of it in a minute. But I read an article, and I'm not sure if this is correct, but it seemed from what I read it and what from James and Faf said, basically, apparently in the first hour of Endgame ticket sales, it sold more tickets. It tripled the amount of sales Infinity War made on pre-release tickets
in 1 hour.
No. Infinity War's entire pre-release tickets.
Oh my God!
Apparently, that's what it. I don't know if James was misreading that.
But no, I saw the article. I think
so that's actually
it is actually a thing. It's going to make.
How is that possible?
Well, to be fair, the amount of hype that Endgame's had and the scramble for tickets to avoid spoilers, I'd probably expect it to make even more than Infinity War.
Well, I saw a tweet earlier, and it was like, conspiracy theory: Disney are deliberately not telling cinemas not to have extra bandwidth for today, so people tweet about the cinemas being down, therefore more hype is being built, and people are like, oh my God, cinemas are crashing. This is insane.
To put the tin for that one.
That's not even a bad conspiracy, because let's be real, the cinemas and Disney aren't losing anything in this situation.
They're not losing. I
saw a few angry people, but eventually they are going to get tickets.
They're going to get tickets.
And inevitably, somebody's going to take the ticket for the midnight release, including us.
We took 6.
Yeah, so I woke up at like 12 because I went to bed quite late, and I just look in the chat, and then Faf was like, Endgame tickets been released, and I jumped out of bed. I legit jumped out of bed, just turned on my PC, and everything was being slow, and I was getting really mad. Please hurry the fuck up! I'm trying to buy tickets because it's Avengers Endgame, and they're gonna sell super quickly. And the funny thing is, we got tickets at the BFI
for Captain Marvel,
and that hadn't sold out in the first fucking 2 days, I think. Yeah. And then we go on to the Odeon's website, and the entire thing is down, and it was down for like
an hour.
2 hours. It was down 2 hours later.
I think it's still down as we're recording this.
Really?
Yeah, it might be still down. People were complaining. It's still trending.
Jeez.
But it was, I think when we initially got the tickets, when I said I was up about 9 a.m. because it was like I had to do stuff for uni, and I was waiting.
We did predict that it was.
Yeah, I said about 4 days ago that will be out on April 2nd, because that's when they're doing it. And then I was out because I was like, eyes up, stay sharp. They're gonna release the tickets today, and I was there
yesterday because you were around yesterday, and we were literally like, we have to be sharp next to our computers tomorrow.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I will wake up just to get Endgame tickets.
And so it was 9 a.m. I was there. It was normal, and I was just like browsing Reddit and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. I was seeing what's going on. Then the time went by so quickly because I went onto Twitter and I just so happened to refresh it, and the Russo brothers just tweeted. So the Russo brothers tweeted at about 10 a.m. saying that there's fan tickets. I tried to get fan tickets for the screening on April the 10th, where they're going to show like a special clip, and the directors are going to be there to talk about the film. I entered it, but I didn't win the ballot. I think only a few people did.
I don't think they've announced it.
No, they said after it closes at 10:30, they're going to announce the winners. And it was like, it wasn't a giveaway. It was like, a ballot. So you had literally a 1 in 2 chance of getting tickets to that fan event. And I don't think I got any. So I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit sad. But then I got back up onto my PC, and they tweeted again saying tickets have just been released with a new trailer. And I was like, I instantly went onto that group chat.
I didn't think they were going to drop a trailer with them.
Oh no, I think they would. They did last time. They dropped like a tickets thing. They dropped the second trailer and then they released the tickets on the same day.
But out of all of the trailers they dropped, this one had the most.
It had the most stuff. It had no old footage. All the footage was new.
It was all new footage.
Yeah, so I was like, when we got the tickets, I was immediately on the group chat. I was spamming you saying like, oh, it's out. I was like, of course you're not awake, and you message saying, oh yeah, we're awake. It was the most frustrating 1 hour of my life.
No, dude, we were like Faf was like saying, right, I'm gonna try now, and I was like spamming the chat with Faf, stop talking, buy the tickets.
It was literally just like, buy the tickets right now.
It turned into like a war, and Twitter's still kind of at war about the tickets.
Yeah.
And we fucking we bailed from the Odeon BFI
and we went to Cineworld.
Yeah, and the best part was I was like Odeon fix your website, and somebody replied to me with try Cineworld, and I just instantly replied because I was like angry. I was like, Cineworld is fucking shit.
Yeah.
And then 15 minutes later, Faf's like, right, I'm gonna try Cineworld, and I was like, at that point, my day was over. Yeah.
I saw the GIF you posted, and you were just like, my life's over.
Yeah, I was like Cineworld. And I didn't even because I was under the impression that Cineworlds don't have IMAX.
No, Cineworld. I think Cineworld's the biggest. Apart from Odeon, Cineworld's the biggest chain in the UK.
Oh, it's bigger than View.
It's big.
View used to be big.
Cineworld owns View. Like the Cineworld.
Why the fuck did I have View? Why not just change it to Cineworld?
Oh no, because View's its own company as well. So it's like View is another company.
So did View get bought out?
Oh yeah, they got bought out.
I swear View used to be the biggest because whenever I used to go to the cinema as a kid,
it was always View.
The
O2 used to be View.
I saw Iron. Really? They have a cinema there now?
Oh, Cineworld.
Fucking
yeah.
I went to see the first Iron Man and the first Incredible Hulk at View. I remember it.
Yeah, I had the Picture House, and then I had Showcase Cinema in Beckton, and then I have View in Westfield now. So it's like I've been with View for about 9 years now.
View have IMAX, right?
Yeah, but they call it View Extreme because it's not really IMAX, it's Dolby Atmos.
The Dark Knight was in IMAX, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was one of the first major ones, am I right?
Yeah, it was.
Because I saw that in IMAX when I was a kid.
That one, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and Avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing The Dark Knight in cinema because I remember it being advertised in Norwich, and
it was advertised so heavily around me as well.
Yeah, I just remember that. Do you remember the big posters they'd have everywhere?
Yeah.
It wasn't like your regular poster. It was more of it was like a poster that went down rather than sideways.
Yeah. I had the one sheet poster downwards, and I also had the sideways
the Joker
one.
holding a gun.
Yeah, the Joker holding a gun, and also the Why So Serious one, that iconic one where it has like the painting, the smile on the glass. Yeah. I had that one as well. But with the tickets, so okay, it was really funny when Fraser said, "Oh, Cineworld, it's all over with Cineworld." I was on the IMAX, and I remember I had tickets, and I kept refreshing the page. I probably refreshed the Odeon IMAX page about 60 times in about 10 minutes because I refreshed it, and then one time I'm in, I have a heart attack. I'm like, oh my god, I'm in. So I go get the tickets, I confirm 5 tickets, and then I go down, I go and confirm the seats, and as I'm doing the payment, as I'm making the payment, the site goes down, and I lose the progress.
And we were like under the impression, did they go through? Did they not go through?
Yeah, it was the most tense time of my life because I was like, did they go through? Did they not go through? I went on to NatWest and they didn't accept it, and I tried 4 more times, and every time I'm about to pay, they always boot me out the site.
Yeah, and then it was a case of you could get onto the tickets, and then it was like you can no longer get onto the tickets, but you can get onto the homepage, and then it was a case of the entire website site
just died because it was like, I think what the tickets that we ended up getting and the ones we were planning on getting from the beginning is a double bill. So it starts with Infinity War and then it leads into Endgame at midnight, and it's like we're gonna be in the cinema for about 6 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, oh my goodness.
Are we okay to say? I feel like we're okay to say the cinema we're going to, right? No.
Yeah.
I feel like if people want to come say hi, come say hi.
Well, yeah, come say hi.
Just don't say hi during the film.
Yeah, don't say hi during the film. I will deck you. I will deck you. We will. So we'll turn around the seat and deck you.
We'll Thanos you.
Yeah,
you know when Thanos punched Iron Man? I will do that to any stand.
Literally just go punch, just punch him, just like throw a moon at you after your stand.
I will fucking do that to anyone.
Yeah.
No, what we're going to where?
Oh, we are going to the Cineworld in Leicester Square. So there
is that nice?
Yeah, it's the nicest one.
Is that in Central?
Central London.
Oh, nice,
yeah, it's where the premiere. That's where the London premiere for Infinity War was.
The only time I've gone to Central is since living in London is for events. Literally,
yeah.
I went to 21 Pilots at Wembley.
That's not Central. That's more West.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'd say
but
major.
We had to go to Central to pick up tickets.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then I had to. Then we went to fucking. What did we see? Captain Marvel.
We saw Captain Marvel.
Was that HBFI in?
Yeah, pretty much. South Bank's near to Central. Yeah. But I think when there is an Odeon at Leicester Square and a Cineworld at Leicester Square, and I think the Odeon has been shrunk in space of the Cineworld. So that Cineworld is an IMAX screen, and there's a lack of IMAX 2D screens. And I was clicking Cineworld. I refreshed the Cineworld screen about 4 times. Yeah. The 4th time I got in, and the tickets are cheaper than BFI IMAX. So if you want,
it was a double viewing,
and it was a double viewing
screen.
And it's a bigger screen.
Dude, I am going to spend so much money on cinema food. I'm legit not going to go and buy like sweets. I'm just gonna get cinema food because I'm gonna go full American. Do you know what? I'm gonna buy so much popcorn. I'm not even gonna buy not a box, a bag. I'm gonna get a bag. I'm gonna get all the nacho cheese and all that shit. Do you remember my experience of nacho cheese during Captain Marvel?
Yeah, that was horrible.
It was the worst. So I asked for nachos and cheese, and like they were like, okay, do you want triple? And I'm like, triple? So I was thinking, that's clearly triple the fucking Doritos or whatever it was, the nachos, and triple the cheese. So I was like, sounds good, my dude. And it was like double the price. Yeah, something like that. I was like, fair enough. Triple. Fuck, I'll play double. It's like I'm saving a bit of money there for more food. Mm-hmm. And they put triple cheese on, but then they don't triple the nachos. And I'm like, so I finished my nachos and I just had a load of nacho cheese just lying. Do you not remember watching me? So the
I
whole
remember
film,
watching you picking it.
I was like dipping the fucking popcorn in nacho cheese.
Dipping popcorn in.
And the lights, and then when the lights turned on, it was like. It was awful. I had nacho cheese all over me. Like, you know, like nerds, like for like stereotypical nerds from like cartoons when they have nacho.
Yeah, like in South Park where it's like Cartman just on the thing.
That was me after Captain Marvel. I just watched.
Yeah, literally when the lights came on, I just looked over at you and I was like, oh my god, what's happened to you? Like what's going on here? And it was just tickets, cinema in general. I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of excited but worried at the same time because the crowd culture during that double viewing, like because I think everyone who's going to see the double bill by now has seen Infinity War. So everyone's going to go back onto those scenes. Like, I think Thor arriving in Wakanda again in IMAX 3D.
We're going to see Thor arriving in Wakanda in IMAX.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
We're going to see the Titan fight in IMAX 3D. Like, the moon's going to come and just hit our faces and we're all going to die.
I'm actually equally, sounds really weird just because the film's been out for a year, but I'm equally excited to see Infinity War to Endgame.
Yeah, I've only seen Infinity War's IMAX screening once.
I've only saw it in cinema once.
Yeah.
You know the story, I wasn't a Marvel fan before.
Yeah, and then Infinity War.
Well, I was a Marvel fan, but my hype, I got
because of Age of Ultron and Infinity War converted you back.
Yeah, I just read a lot. I watched a lot of cartoons and comics between 2015 and 2018. No films. So I missed out on Civil War, Spider-Man, Guardians 2?
Guardians 2, that was Phase 3. You missed out on most of Phase 3.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, legit, I missed out on majority of Phase 3, and then then I saw Black Panther and Infinity War.
Oh, yeah. I started the hype in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Like, I wouldn't say started, but I'd started the investment
I gave up on the MCU is what I mean in 2015 after Ultron. So I saw Iron Man. I saw everyone up until Ultron, and then I was like,
and then you stopped.
I'm out. It can't get. It's
like,
going. This is where. That's when I was like, okay, superhero fatigue is now kicking in.
Yeah, it's now gonna happen.
I legit thought that, and I think a lot of other people did. And I think that's why a lot of articles came out. And because they were becoming stale because not every single one, because Guardians was there, but like 80% of them were the same thing. And
grim,
it was like,
dark.
Grim, dark. The Dark Knight was the worst thing for superhero films, despite one of the
best thing that happened.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. It was the best superhero, if I had to think then. Arguably the best superhero film.
Yeah.
But the influence it had, the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, they tried to make it all grim and that kind of stuff. I didn't
We've
really
spoken
like
about this before, so we don't really need to.
Yeah, we're not going to dwell too much on it. But yeah, you became like and pretty much an MCU stan after Infinity War, and it's like it's weird because you're going to experience that all over again. In IMAX,
my tweets are bad now. You wait until 20 days.
You wait until I'm really tempted just with some of the screenings since everyone's seen Infinity War already. I'm tempted to just live tweet the whole thing.
Are we allowed on our phone? Sure.
You're allowed on your phone. They just encourage you to switch off your phone.
Oh, sweet. They
encourage you to switch off your phone, and they say not to record the screen.
Wait. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I probably won't because I'll probably be engrossed by the IMAX.
And also I remember on the time I went to watch Spider-Verse in the Cineworld, I had my camera because I was doing photography. I was doing photography around the area, like around the O2. I walked into the Cineworld with a camera.
You walked into a cinema with a camera?
No. It looks so suspect. No, what happened was...
Hey guys, here's my big DSLR camera.
I didn't have my rucksack with me to put my camera in my bag because I was planning on going straight home.
You went into a cinema with a big fucking backpack and a camera.
No, I didn't have it.
So not only...
I didn't have a backpack on me. The reason I didn't have a backpack on me, which means I had to have my camera on.
Was it you, when we went to see Captain Marvel, you were wearing a backpack and you made like a joke thinking, I hope they don't think something's in it. And I'm like, somebody said that. I think it might have been
it was me.
I was like, no, Faf, please don't do this, man.
Yeah, don't get us all kicked out right before the film starts.
Like, we agreed there's like one thing you can't say in London, and it's the word.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say
oh, it's like, what? Am I just saying that?
Have you known anyone to ever be searched?
But to be
I've been searched for cocaine before, and that's not even a joke.
What?
So when I was a kid, I was like riding my bike for a really dodgy neighborhood, and I was like 14, and the police car like stopped me. I was like fucking biking back from my girlfriend's or some shit. That's how young I was. On my bike at 14. Yeah. And they stopped me, and they were like, "Yeah, there's been a few bike stealings in this area."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a kid. Like, do you think I nicked this bike? It probably wasn't in my mind. As a middle class white man, that there are thieves who are 14, but then they searched my bag. They were like, I was like, what are you searching for? They're like, yeah, cocaine as well. There's been a big load of cocaine dealings lately. And I was like, okay. At this point, I say at this point, I've never done drugs, and I've never done drugs.
You've never done drugs. You've never done and never will.
Yeah. So yeah, a bit of an odd experience. I don't know how we got onto the film.
Yeah, no, it was like when I went into the Cineworld, I went in with my camera and everything, and it was like I'd just gone from taking pictures. I went up the escalator slowly, and as I went there slowly, I knew one of the security guards there. The other security guard made a beeline straight for me and says, "Oh, are you planning on getting tickets for what's it called? For I think I went to watch Into the Spider-Verse. So I watched Spider-Verse, and as I was walking up to confirm the tickets, the security guard stopped me and was saying, "We're gonna have to take your camera." And I was like, "Okay, it's fine." So I went up, and after the film was over, I went back downstairs. The security guard I gave my camera to wasn't there. Really? So I was like, "Lads, hello." And what
did you do?
I went to the arcade because the arcade was there, and in the arcade there was a bunch of people that were just there. There were a bunch of staff members that were there. I went and I was like,
where's my fucking camera?
Yeah.
How much was the camera worth?
The camera's it was just in my D5300, so it's about £600.
Just £600.
Yeah, and in
just 600.
Yeah, only just 600. Only
that camera's probably worth more than mine. Is it worth more than mine?
I don't.
Oh, gee, no, mine's quite expensive.
But my lens though was £200, and I had that one in the camera.
My lens is like £1,000. I'm not flexing. I know. You've just seen my lens quality now.
Yeah, the lens quality is mental.
I had like the right opinion message. Was like, holy shit, your camera quality is.
Yeah, no, the camera quality. His lens is really good, but yeah, I had my lens there, and I was like, "Can I have my camera back?" So I had to wait about 15 minutes to get the security guard, who was all the way on the other side of the O2, to get the key to the locker where my camera was, and I had to wait for him to get the key, open the locker, and then give me back my camera. And I was like, yeah, Cineworld. That's the one bad experience I've had with Cineworld in general. So, which is why I was apprehensive about getting tickets in Cineworld to begin with, because I've always been a View kind of person, because View's right next to me. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, I think when I've moved here and we were discussing what cinema we're gonna use, and you wanted to go for View, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to Odeon.
Because I was like,
I'm an Odeon guy. I've always
yeah,
been
Odeon's a Tory kind of thing. Like literally, Odeon's
Is
actually
it?
no, Odeon's actually a Tory cinema.
The only cinema in my area when I was at uni was Odeon in Lincoln.
Yeah, it's literally. I think Odeon's a Tory one, and then View's for cheapskates because all the tickets are £7.
Well, when I was a kid, we used to go to View, like, because we were like poor.
Yeah.
So we would always go to
View is always the
going
one
to the cinema as a kid for me was like fucking going on holiday.
Yeah, legitimately. Back then it was holiday, but now I go to cinema every time a major release happens or every 2 weeks.
You go to the cinema like at least once a week, surely.
Yeah, and yeah, I do. It depends on the film though. It's like because I normally go for memberships and stuff. Like
I've never been to a film by myself.
Oh really? Oh, I feel so weird. Yeah.
Apparently, it's like one of those things where you have to make yourself do it for the first time.
Yeah.
And you actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, honestly, I think the first time I did it was ages back, but I've been just going to the cinema on my own. I think the best experience in the cinema on my own was probably Deadpool 2, and there was only 3 people, including me, in the cinema at the time, and my God, well, that was bliss. Because it was Deadpool 2 on the View Extreme screen with Dolby Atmos there, so the sound actually reverberated around the entire room when like the Juggernaut was there, for example. So it was like that film, I don't know whether it was just me, but Deadpool 2 in particular in cinemas on your own is funnier when it's there than with multiple people.
Yeah,
because you're scared of laughing at like jokes that aren't funny, and I was like, no.
I've watched Deadpool 2 quite a few times. I watched Deadpool 2 on the flight back from Moscow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I watched Infinity War there and Deadpool 2 back. British Airways have some
banging films.
Yeah,
on
no,
the
dude, they
entertainment.
do. I swear, like they had Deadpool before it was even on DVD.
Yeah, they did. Some airlines do get films at like digital release.
Why is that?
It's just deals. It's deals in general. It's like you see Turkish Airlines have deals with film companies.
I feel like somehow Disney probably own that fucking airplane company.
Yeah, like they probably do, or they have deals. I think they have deals with Turkish Airlines or something. That's why you see a lot of like. I remember there was one ad with like RDJ on, so I was like, you know. But and so speaking of like in tickets in general, because we've said a lot about tickets, I believe. I think we should go on to the trailer, which was released with the release of the tickets for Endgame, the special look, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
in general, that trailer did more to show the film than all of the other trailers combined.
Spoiler alert.
Massive spoiler alert, but I will say that the trailer is not really, it doesn't really tell much about the film other than...
If you don't want to know things, don't watch that trailer.
Yeah,
though.
Honestly, I'd say if you don't want to know details about the film, which I still think the Russos are probably lying to us about, don't watch that trailer.
Yeah. So,
and also don't listen to this next part.
Yeah, so. Don't. How does the trailer even open again?
It opens with just them at the Avengers, like the facility. It's like Bruce Banner saying that, we
oh
can't,
yeah. So it starts with him basically. See, this kind of plays into our theory of there's going to be 2 missions and they fail the first one because he's like, we're going into this without planning. Pretty much.
They just want to go fuck Thanos up.
And I think if you add the trailers up, it does show 2 plans.
Yeah,
and I have a feeling that Thanos is going. I just have a feeling he's going to kill more because the second trailer of the first trailer of where it's Steve and it's Black Widow.
Yeah, Natasha.
They're in the thing and they're like, this is going to work.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's going to do if it doesn't. Yeah,
and there's no other people around them at that point.
Yeah.
So what I predict is that they're all going to go for it. Like
it's going to be like Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it's going to be the whole group take him on.
Yeah.
And he fucks them up.
Yeah, like Captain. I think it's because Captain Marvel arrives immediately, doesn't she?
Yeah. So they're all gonna go there, and they're thinking, we've got Captain Marvel now. We've got 4 Captain Marvel, Iron Man, and then we're gonna go fuck him up.
Yeah.
And then they get fucked.
Yeah, I think Thanos will actually obliterate them.
I think I don't know if this would make sense, but I have a feeling Bruce will get either snapped out of existence or will die.
I don't think the snap will happen again.
No, I'm not saying as in.
Well,
like
I mean,
I think he'll do something to.
He'll do something.
I've just got a feeling that.
I think because they're in all the posters and everything, they're really going with Bruce. You haven't seen Hulk at all in any of the trailers, and all the stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah, and all the stuff that Bruce has been in is the Hulkbuster. If you saw the 2 new posters that they just released,
but how brutal would it be if he came back finally as Hulk and then just got fucked again.
I think that would just cheat people because people would be like, imagine if, because in the there was an iconic scene that, well, I'd say iconic, but I'd say there was a very not influential, I don't even know what the word for it is, but that scene looked really important where it's just Thanos sitting down and it's Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America walking slowly towards him.
That's what I'm saying is like, where's Hulk in that?
Exactly. Imagine if they also had
Where's
Hulk
Captain
in that
Marvel?
kind of thing. And I think it's
She's
the
being
OGs.
played down in the trailers.
I think they're being played down because the only time you've seen Captain Marvel is
in
when
the spaceship and the hammer.
and with the hammer scene. And I think that's because they're still releasing it under the assumption that people haven't seen Captain Marvel, so they don't want to do how does she get there. But it doesn't show you how she gets there because she gets there immediately.
Also, I have a feeling that Disney aren't doing damage control, but because of the hate train against Captain Marvel, whether you believe in it or you don't, I think they're not showing him as much in the trailers, so people
don't get expectations.
No, people who are pissed for some reason at Captain Marvel for all the things people hated her for, you go ahead with that. But it's like, I think they're not showing her as much just so that conversation doesn't happen again.
And also not just that.
It doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, and also I think people are just worried that Captain Marvel will just go there. People say, oh, Captain Marvel's going to go there. She's going to punch Thanos and she's going to die.
Yeah,
it's like,
I think
no,
Disney don't want to have another film which is like, this just is a quote, I don't think it is, but SJW propaganda.
It's like SJW propaganda. Like Captain Marvel's going to come in and is going to accuse Thanos of sexual assault and Thanos is going to wither.
Stand the phrase SJW at this point.
Yeah.
But, so back to my predictions. I think it's going to be a case of they will all go and try and fuck Thanos up. And
Thanos fucks them up.
And then we'll have a time jump of 5 years.
I think the time jump, because I thought about it, and you know, in the trailer, because I've been noticing one significant change that I've noticed is Natasha Black Widow's hair.
Yeah, and Steve's beard.
I know, because Steve's beard's already gone in all of the trailers, but in the post-credit scene for Captain Marvel, as they're there looking at the pager, I looked at like Black Widow's hair, and her hair is like still blonde and everything, but if you look at the poster and you look at some of the trailer shots, it's the red hair's back.
Yeah, it's all...
And it's longer.
Yeah, it's all fucking all over the place. Nobody...
Yeah.
There has to be a time jump.
There will be something to do with time there.
Unless they go back and get Black Widow from the past.
And yeah, I think this was this is one of the, I think this might be a major spoiler if I'm right, but in the trailer, you'll see that Tony talks to Steve and says, "Do you trust me?" And they do a handshake. I think that scene is partially fake. I thought you said you thought it was CGI. I think, not by fake, I mean as in it's been doctored to look like something else.
Yeah.
Because in the scene, if you look really closely, the hand that's coming out to shake Tony is not the same hand as Captain America's literally 1 second before. So I think that, and also, why would Tony say to Steve, "Do you trust me?" in a situation where it looks like they're in New York? I think Steve...
I think mainly it's because of Civil... Mind you, at the end of Civil War, there was like... I know they're not on good terms, but you could tell there was
mutual respect.
There was respect.
Yeah, because...
and even in... I think it was in Spider-Man or in Civil War when he says to Tony says to Spider-Man, if Cap wanted to, he could have beat your ass pretty much.
No, he says that in Homecoming.
Yeah,
he says that in Homecoming.
And so they definitely respect each other. And also it was something like, I think in Infinity War, Cap said something like, Stark is like the best for this job.
Yeah, and also it was like, oh, Earth lost his best defender when they're talking about
Earth lost his best defender. Now, so he called Iron Man their best defender.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like, because it's like they all went. So I honestly think, and also if you think about it as well, Steve might think that Banner's the one that Banner called him and the lads, like, because remember in the film that Steve and Tony have not seen each other yet since Civil War, but Tony was the one who brought out the phone to call up Steve. Banner's the one that picked it up, so I think they knew. How did Banner get that without Tony? So I think Steve knew in his mind that Tony was there to call on him. These trailers are complete fuckery. The Russos are so good at that. I honestly, they are monsters. Like they're actually monsters, because they're throwing all these expectations, but you now know after what happened in Infinity War, you now know that a lot of it might not even happen.
Yeah, and I think with trailers, say if you've read the comics and you've watched the trailers, you still don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But say if you watch the trailer for Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2
and you've read the book,
you know exactly how this is going.
And also,
sorry, go on.
No. I was gonna say that also, for the record, the Deathly Hallows Part 2 trailer. If you ever went in blind, that's probably the shittest trailer
They
I've
literally
ever
show
seen.
Harry dying.
They spoiled everything.
They spoiled
everything in that trailer. That's why Warner Bros. Had a horrible track record, because all of their trailers have been shit up until Suicide Squad, the second trailer.
Yeah.
So, and that wasn't even, and it wasn't even that good of a film. So it's
yeah.
like the art of making a trailer, I think Marvel has that down to a T, because they have that respect. If any other company tried bullshitting their
Shazam's trailers were quite good.
Yeah, Shazam trailers were good, but I'm trying to say that if they're mostly true to the film. There's not been another company that people have genuinely respected for shooting scenes that aren't even in the film and they're exclusive to the trailer.
Marvel did used to be a company. Only 3 years ago, their trailers were better than the film in some cases.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron,
the first trailer was much better than the film.
It looked like you were going to get a dark and gritty tone.
Yeah, after the cheesiness of the first Avengers film, we thought we were going to go straight to just grim, dark Avengers Age of Ultron, everyone dies.
Yeah.
And
there was that cut of... Wait, was the shield in first or second one?
The first trailer. The broken shield was in the first one.
Yeah.
And it was it showed this shield literally broken in half as if someone snapped it. And it was oh wow, Ultron actually managed to do that. And then you realize it was a hallucination scene. So it was wow, what a great trailer. What a great scene. I just think that, they could have done better with that kind of trailer. In fact, this is a good question. How would you rank the trailers for Endgame so far, in terms of the quality, I guess?
I'd say the second one was the best.
I would probably agree with that one.
With the red toning.
With the red toning. I probably think that was... I think I'd probably rank the first trailer as the best.
Really?
The second trailer did everything I wanted it to, but I think in terms of what they did to market the first trailer, not even revealing the title until a 10-second title sequence, cool. I think the first trailer probably tempered expectations a lot better than the second one did.
Because the first one was much more depressing.
And it was depressing as well.
It looked like everything was lost at that point.
Yeah, exactly. I think the first trailer set the scene for Endgame better than the second one has.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about their trailers is that... Because we just got the last trailer. There's not going to be no more, right?
Yeah, I think there's just going to be TV spots now, because there's been quite a lot of them.
I don't even think there's going to be a TV spot.
I think there will, because there's already been... Yeah, Infinity War had about 10 TV spots before it came out. So.
But I like that for them in terms of main trailers. Mm-hmm. They left Thanos for the last second.
They left the Thanos literally the very last second. You don't even hear his voice. Or I think...
You get Thanos once, I'm pretty sure, in the whole thing. And it's when he goes... you can't deal with your failure.
Yeah, you can't deal with your failure. So where's that led you? You can't deal with the fact of failure. Where's that led you? Straight back to me.
It sounds really... Because obviously I had that argument on Twitter with people about Thanos's his
ideologies.
His ideologies.
Yeah,
and people were like, Pineley, for example, my friend. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but Pineley, he was saying how it's not Thanos's ideology to needlessly kill, and no, Thanos is a mad titan. He is crazy. He literally didn't have to strangle Loki.
Yeah. Although I will play devil's advocate in that Loki did literally just try to betray him again. He was hunting down. Technically speaking, he was going to get Loki. Loki knew that he was fucked the moment he failed in the first Avengers film.
I just think he some people he doesn't kill out of respect for them.
Yeah,
but Stark he killed because he knew Stark was probably one of the main people that could fuck with him.
Would you mean Loki? Or
no, Stark. He stabbed Stark.
Oh yeah. Well, he attempted to kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was about to kill him. Then Strange spared him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. But Thanos is known as the Mad Titan.
Yeah, and he said he was called mad because of his genocide idea.
Yeah. So. And I think for anyone to say, oh no, man, it's just his ideology. The guy's ideology is genocide. Anyone's ideology who is genocide,
exactly.
No matter if they're trying to spare the universe, is still crazy.
Yeah, because it's a good villain ideal if the villain thinks that what he's doing is right, but that makes him a villain because he literally thinks that
it's smart because he's trying to save the universe by killing half of it.
Yeah.
And it's some people can look at it and be like, okay, Thanos has a point. There is an actual problem of resources.
Yep.
But I'm sure realistically, Thanos could have thought of other ways round. I know they couldn't. There was a reason for he couldn't double the resources, but surely there was something else he could have done other than destroy half the universe.
Yeah, but you only thought about that.
Yeah. But it's also a case of like in the trailer, he sounded menacing. Like he was glad menacing. They came back.
Yeah, exactly. And like, where that lead you back to me? Way.
Yeah, literally. And he had his armor and sword, and that's clear that all the theories about Thanos being injured. I don't know if it's proven false, but the fact he's got his new armor on, and I don't know if it's I can accurately say this, but judging on the gauntlet, it doesn't look damaged.
I think, but that's the thing. I think someone did put a theory that maybe that's a younger Thanos. And that's Xandar.
What do you mean?
Oh, so that's that scene at the end of the trailer where Thanos is sitting down.
Yeah.
Someone theorized, and they weren't too sure because in Infinity War, Thanos doesn't wear his armor at all until after, like, he doesn't wear his armor after he beats the shit out of the Hulk in the beginning of the film. Yeah. But he was wearing the armor all the time before.
But maybe he wears the armor now because he literally got stabbed in the chest.
That is true, but he hung up in the first trailer. They theorized that he hung up his armor and he was going to stop at the first trailer. What people think that they've done is that they've already gone kind of back in time to a younger Thanos at Xandar. People think, I'm not too sure. I think this is still like his new planet, but people think that's the wreckage of Xandar, and he's gone. It wouldn't make sense. That's just all that I've read about it. It's like
I don't know if I like that theory.
Yeah, I don't think if I like it either.
I feel like it's so easy to go back.
It's too easy.
The problem with time travel, and it's my only worry for Endgame, and it's not really a significant worry, is that time travel makes everything so easy. It's like you go back in time and you can change anything. And then
that does lead into, I think other films that have done it well, they'll lead into the paradox, like the grandfather paradox, that if you change anything in the past, that instantly changes the future, preventing you from even have gone into the past in the first place.
And also there's the case of like, if you change something in the past, theoretically, surely that's already been changed.
Yes, that's the grandfather paradox. Like, what if
time travel makes no sense?
Yeah,
like logically, it makes, because like if I say right now I'm going to go back in time and I'm not going to do this podcast, I've already gone back in time and done that because I've already been there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it makes no sense.
If time travel truly existed, then something would have happened now. We would get people with like flying TARDISes around the place or some shit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it hurts the brain to think about because it's so confusing.
Because it's like
I get headache thinking about it. But it's like the case of time travel doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like the whole process is like, maybe that's why it makes sense in the weirdest of ways.
But I think most
it's not meant to make sense to the human laws of reality and time.
That's true. That's mainly why time travel and stuff. I think it's going to be interesting what they do with Avengers Endgame, because I've just had the thought. If they go back in time and they manage to change something and they still be rewriting the universe, what if it has like a Days of Future Past effect? Have you seen Days of Future Past?
No.
Oh, because if you've seen it, I have a very, very creeping feeling in the back of my mind they're gonna do Days of Future Past,
where everything's different.
Where everything is different. Like he goes back in time well back, but they are not. They're still in the present. And spoilers, although Days of Future Past came out ages ago, Professor X is literally about to die. And when they finally sort out the issue, when they go to the point in which the timelines diverge, Mystique makes a decision to save that person, which leads to the future changing and everything disappearing, and they've never been there in the first place. I have a creeping feeling that they might do that with Endgame in the case of something else.
So is there the possible theory that Endgame doesn't end well, and the reason we have a Spider-Man trailer is because the universes got split? And they go into the full multiverse thing.
Yeah,
and there's a case of Thanos actually gets away.
Yeah, I think because Thanos will be like, it's like a 10-year villain, and I think it might be criminal for him to be relegated into just behind, because you can't keep him as a big villain for that long. Yeah. I think something's going to happen to him where it's going to be like he might even be trapped. Like he might be trapped somewhere.
Where fucking Umantu from Doctor Strange.
I think.
Is that his name?
I'm not too sure. It's probably going to ring a bell. We're probably going to get a lot of shit in the comments for that. But yeah, I think he might trap him in like a dimension or something that he can't get out of.
Dimension trapping, though.
Yeah, that's a bit...
I don't know. It just feels like I think that feels like a case of, well, why did you not think of that before?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why did Doctor Strange...
like,
or the Doctor Strange did try to trap him in the mirror dimension, and then Thanos just punched right through it with the Power Stone, so... Like,
yeah, and I think that explains the question of why he couldn't just portal his...
Yeah, and why he couldn't portal it, because...
when he said... When I think Chris Reagan was like, why could he not just cut him off? Because... I guess the Infinity Gauntlet is so powerful.
And not just that, Thanos is not the same as the Black Order. Thanos himself is super powerful. He won't be able to...
Is he not? Is he?
He is a Titan. He's a Titan.
Yeah, and Titans in the comics are like ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope, but I doubt they give him his powers from the comics.
I don't think they will,
because he's so overpowered in the comics.
He literally just firing lasers and everything.
If people, I'm guessing majority of this viewers don't
really know, but yeah,
in the comics, Thanos is psychic. He can shoot lasers. He's got a super strength.
Yeah, he's endurable.
He's endurable. There's a load of other stuff too, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
He can control people's minds.
Yeah.
He can read their minds.
Yep.
He can do so much more.
He can literally
shoot lasers.
He's basically all his powers with the full gauntlet was based Thanos in the comics.
Yeah, he can do it without it.
Yeah. And the gauntlet just literally made him just like 100%.
It made him God.
Yeah, in the comics, he literally just decided, oh, I don't like this physical form. Just leaves his physical body.
I think that the whole reason they did that is because it made poetic sense, because his whole idea in the comics was to appease death.
Yeah.
So it would be like
the
devil and God together.
Yeah, and transcending death and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that thing, or someone's in what's it called? In terms of Disney in general, if you want to talk about that recently, do you want to talk about...
I don't know, I feel like still talking about
Yeah, because we're going to dedicate so much time to Endgame.
We've got plenty of time this year to talk about.
Yeah, we can
still talk about it later on. But
yeah.
I'm still in the zone. I'm still in the zone. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I just think that there was some other stuff we didn't discuss about the trailer. We didn't discuss the first part.
Oh yeah, we Guardians of the Galaxy with Nebula and Rocket. People, this is the first time you've seen them together. It was like Nebula and Rocket holding hands, and then they're gonna see all the furries just come out the woodwork like, oh god, they're holding hands and shit. They're gonna start shipping them together. Nah, it's because I think it's like it was a mini character arc in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 where Nebula and Rocket were like, they hated each other. Like Nebula kept calling Rocket a fox and something. It was like misspeciesing him or something like that. I don't know what the fuck you say, But yeah, it was literally just calling him a fox and everything. And he even was like, when they were leaving him, when they were leaving for Ego's planet and they left Nebula alone with Rocket, it was like Nebula snaked them out in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That's how Yondu and them caught him. Yeah, so I think now that was kind of significant in the trailer because they're like, oh god, they're now catching up, and Nebula has to tell Rocket that literally everyone died. Yeah. So Rocket's already seen Groot die. Now he has to get the news that everyone else has died. But
to be fair, I think Rocket probably has an idea, but obviously he doesn't know that his whole family have died.
Yeah, I think so because it's like they're all separated and everything as well. And the last thing that they both talked to each other, it wasn't even mutual respect. The Rocket just was Rocket and them were just exchanging like snide remarks.
Nebula to die.
I think Nebula's definitely gonna die. Her story arc is very interesting because I was in the camp that actually really liked Nebula. People really weren't on board with Nebula in general. They like Gamora more, but I like Nebula more than Gamora.
I liked Gamora more
because I think Nebula, was something about Nebula that's just
Nebula has a better story. I know they come from the same patch, but
I think
the whole thing about being the least favorite and
I think the character arc was more interesting with Nebula than it was with Gamora because Gamora was like grew to like love Peter Quill and everything, and they just came and grew as a family. But Nebula's
never really grown. She's never really changed too much.
Yeah, she hasn't changed too much. As in Nebula has been like, loyal, like literally Thanos. Like Thanos is like,
Yeah, whereas Gamora became more human.
Yeah. So and Thanos was literally like, Thanos this, Thanos the Thanos that, and I'm gonna do this for Thanos. I'm going to kill you because Thanos like says it. Thanos wills it. So that's the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Then Volume 2, Nebula's been caught stealing batteries, and it's like, Gamora is like, I don't care about Nebula, and then Nebula tries to kill Gamora, and then Nebula says the reason I'm trying to kill you is because you always thought to appease Thanos, and Nebula just wanted someone who could relate to her. And then Infinity War happened, and Nebula almost killed Thanos, like without the stones. He almost killed her, and Thanos tortured Nebula, and Gamora eventually told Thanos that the
How did Disney get away with that torture scene?
Yeah, no, that's why the BBFC were on the fence about Infinity War, because that torture scene, it's outright described in the parent advisory warning for Infinity War that it contains a scene of torture. And I was like, the reason why Disney got away with it, that it wasn't
Disney,
and not just that, it wasn't traditional torture. It wasn't like, you know, you can't exactly telekinetically.
It wasn't nails being put into hands.
Yeah, it wasn't that kind of stuff. Although it was nails being put into someone's body, but you can't do that because you don't have magical powers. So how it's like kids can't really replicate that, really.
I think also maybe it is because Disney owned.
Yeah, I know, but BBFC is a bit different to the MPAA. But
I just feel like with Disney's influence over everything, like it's hard to say no to a company of that size. Because
I don't think no one can not answer to the BBFC. BBFC do have the final say in everything with film. No studio can like.
Yeah, but what I'm saying here is like Disney have such big influence in everything. Like even these governing boards tried to stop them on things. I just feel like Disney are so big, not even in like terms of film, but in terms of politics. Like Disney controls so much. Owns so much.
I do think that's a bit of an exaggeration with I think with the BBFC, MPAA mainly, but maybe because Disney is part of it. But the BBFC, Disney cannot touch that because
I just don't know, because like I feel like if I owned a company like Disney, I'd want people on the inside in companies like that. If I was like a guy who wanted to dominate the market, I would get people in companies that would possibly.
But that means the BBFC wouldn't be doing that job, because they did say that.
But
they did
saying
say,
on a face value of things, they're meant to do the jobs, but reality is companies like that don't do their jobs correctly.
Yeah, that's true. BBFC
like people let things slide.
Yeah, but I think with Infinity, and then the Infinity War with that torture scene afterwards, and then Gamora finally fesses up to Thanos, which then caused Gamora to essentially die, and now Nebula feels really guilty. You saw like Nebula was asking, the first thing that she asked to Thanos was, "Where's Gamora? Like, why the hell is Gamora?" After like thing, and then Nebula finally clocks that Thanos has the Soul Stone and Gamora's not here. So yeah, I think Nebula's character is a bit more fleshed out in general than Gamora, and I think it will be a bigger emotional payoff if Nebula bites it in Endgame.
Yeah, Gamora is dead.
Yeah, I know, but I think if Nebula bites, it's like a poetic ending. They both fail trying to kill Thanos, or they successfully try and Nebula dies in the process. So, yeah. Because I think if you remember in that same scene where they're facing off Thanos in the third trailer, where the OG Avengers are coming up to Thanos, Nebula was in that same scene.
Really?
In trailer 2.
Oh yeah, running.
Yeah, running. So it's like, and also,
so is War Machine and Rocket.
And people, I thought about it. And
so is Ant-Man.
But then I thought about it. Ant-Man's small, and it was a pencil. Why the hell would the pencil be a?
Maybe they brought it along just as a battle plan.
A pencil. It's not John Wick.
You'd be surprised, maybe. No, maybe. I don't know, man.
Because it's not like
so
John
you
Wick.
think there's going to be some form of battle of Ant-Man in the Avengers?
I think in the Avengers facility. That's why I was like, that can't be like out on a different planet, because where the fuck? Where would they?
There's also a case of there's half of the Outriders still in Wakanda.
Exactly. Oh, to be fair, I thought Thor obliterated them all. And also, you do realize that Thanos was indiscreet. Yeah, Thor obliterated in the scenes where he was fighting. Thor literally obliterated the ships as they were leaving, obliterated them all there. And if you think about it, Thanos also snaps all life indiscriminate, which so some of the Outriders will probably hit with that.
Half of them.
Yeah, half of them will probably hit with that as well. So it's like, and also, confirmed from the posters that Valkyrie survived. From Thor Ragnarok.
I saw that.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see what Endgame does with all these characters as well, because it's like, it's 3 hours and 2 minutes confirmed. So it's like, that is a lot of time to dedicate to all of this kind of stuff. And I think that Endgame, have you seen the test results, like the test screening results? And it's the best reviewed one, like
Marvel film
ever. As in, it's not like, oh, maybe it's a tiny bit better than Infinity War. No, it's the best one. And also it's the fact that they think it's the best one without the final CGI, without the score, and just with like temporary sounds.
Yeah.
So with that, I genuinely think, even the screenwriter said that Endgame is a better film than Infinity War. They came out themselves and said that.
The screenwriters?
The screenwriters for both films, they said that Endgame is a better film than Infinity War.
Yeah, and I don't doubt them screenwriters.
Yeah, I don't doubt the screenwriters. They probably, if they say they wrote up a storm for Endgame, I'd believe them.
No, it was also seeing the what's the actor for Captain America called?
Oh, Chris Evans.
Yeah, he came out and said that he cried 3 times.
Yeah, he choked up in the first hour.
It was in the first hour.
The first hour he choked up.
Jesus,
so I'm just like,
man.
oh god,
who's dead then?
Who's dead? I think the casualty count will be extremely high in this one.
Yeah, I think people are going to be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like, oh, Avengers do this, that. I think a lot of people are going to die.
It's mainly because that obviously inevitably they're going to reverse the snap. So to make the snap still justified and still an emotional impact, they have to give you more.
It's a trade-off.
They have to give. Yeah, it's a trade. They have to give death because they need that. If that snap loses its value, then
that makes Infinity War a bad
War.
film.
Yeah,
it makes it a bad film in retrospect.
Yeah, because the whole point of Infinity War was the snap,
and also it's the fact that it's led into the damage you see in Endgame. And the fact is, I think even it might go against how Captain America's ideals was we don't trade lives.
If he's going to be forced into doing,
going to be forced into doing that. I think they're going to do that for Endgame.
Yeah.
So I think how long have we been talking about Endgame, by the way? Because I feel like we can have so many 50 minutes. Wow. I think this is literally just been the Endgame episode as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I was going to raise a point in terms of Disney about live action remakes because of what's kind of going on in the cinema recently. I just can't
be bothered to watch them.
Yeah.
I'm like, is anyone excited for these films?
Loads of people are excited for Lion King. That's the one that I think that's the out of all of them, because I've been indifferent to all of them, including Jungle Book. But the Lion King, I'll be very interested to see how they do Lion King. Because it's so Lion King and the Jungle Book were so rooted in the fact that it's an animation that
I have an idea for filmmakers.
Oh, what?
Maybe stop doing live action films and actually make animation good again.
Yeah, but it makes money. It makes money. Animation.
You know me. I hate animated films at this point.
But I think nowadays it's like 3D animated films. It's really hard because it's extreme. It's getting more and more expensive.
But I thought 3D animated films are quicker to make than.
No, they're not. They're not. Because with 3D animated films, I'd say in theory, on paper they should be quicker, but. First, you need to pay for not just with CGI. You need to pay for the animation team, because it's not like a live action film where you can go for a production company, then get CGI from different teams to outsource it to. The animation team are the ones distributing and producing the film, which means it's much more work. It takes about a year and a half to 2 years, even more, to make an animated film. So it's like,
but they're all so. Like, it's a generalization, but I feel like it's a valid generalization. Like 90% of animated films are just bad at this point.
Yeah, I think animated films really. I think the only reason why I genuinely liked Incredibles 2 for the increase in animation quality, but I feel like not many people.
But even that as a story completely goes against the whole concept of the first one, because the first one was a parody. It was a parody of superhero
and then the
films.
second one was really they played it straight. I think more people nowadays are now looking into writing, because I remember way back it was mainly like, oh, animations, they're all cool, they're all flashy and stuff. Now I've noticed more people in reviews and in the general public look into the writing behind the film. As in, I've noticed a lot of people comment on it like, oh, the writing, people don't say that the film is bad, people say the writing is bad. And I think we've got directors like Wes Anderson, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They're both kind of elevating the animation field in terms of writing.
There is also a case of animated films. 95% are kiddie.
That's the one, because I think
no adult animated films.
And adult animated films make fuck all money, because it's like animated films in general, you still have that stigma. I think you now have that stigma even now more than ever, that animated films are kids, go watch them in cinemas and that's it. Back then you had 2D animations and some were adult related, like even ones that are rated U, like Watership Down. That's ages back, but my god, is that like the most R-rated kid animation you'd ever see. It's like, it's really weird. It's like,
because it's the point of, if you want to make an adult gritty film, then you make a real film.
You make it real,
like real people acting.
Yeah, and if you're going to make animated adult film, Netflix. Yeah. Netflix is the only one that's able, because no major studio has the balls to dedicate all that time for an R-rated animated film. And
that's mainly the case. Studios don't have balls anymore.
And the one time they did was Sausage Party. And did you see all the behind the scenes drama with the animators not being paid at all?
Yeah,
exactly. So it's
but also I feel like the last time animated studios actually risked a lot was back when Toy Story and Finding Nemo.
And I'd say recently with Spider-Verse, they risked a lot. That was a big risk.
And that shows, how long did that take to make?
It took a year to just perfect the animation style.
Only a year?
No, not a year to animate. I mean, you know, the style.
The style.
Literally,
so how long did the film
just
take
the
to
style.
make?
I think it was in production for 5 to 6 years.
Take that time to make them films.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Even
the studios want money.
I know it's not an animated film, and I dislike the film heavily. But look at Avatar. That film, how many years put into that?
So many decades.
And it made $2 billion.
More than it's the highest grossing film of all time. And while people say, "Oh, you can't name all the characters," that was a filmmaking spectacle at the time.
As is Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's like when you watched Avatar in IMAX, you actually I think that's the only film you could genuinely say as an example that made you feel like you're in the world.
Yeah, and it's a gorgeous film.
It's gorgeous.
It has to be. That's the main selling point.
And it's like it made that much money because people wanted to experience being there, and also the James Cameron effect. James Cameron had already knocked it out the park with Titanic.
Yeah.
So, and that was his first major film since Titanic.
Really?
Yeah.
But also it's a case of, do you think this is just generalization, or do you think this is a problem that most animated films have the same style?
Yes,
is that
I think as opposed to the actual art style behind the film, like the actual person drawing the character stuff, all of them have the same cartoony style.
It is
that DreamWorks like.
Even Toy Story now does.
Yeah,
Toy Story's new characters are fucking shit.
I'm going to say it, yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I'm going to see Toy Story 4.
I don't think I'm going to see Toy Story 4
purely out of like protest, because I'm like, it should have ended on Toy Story 3. And I know they had a fucking fourth one planned.
It ended on Toy Story 3.
I don't care that they had 2 more films planned. It should have ended on the 3rd one.
They had 2 more films planned.
Yeah, no, apparently it was they had 3. Apparently.
Yeah.
I argued in somebody with Twitter about this. Apparently I was wrong. Apparently it's 3 or 4 films. I think they had 3 and 4 planned.
Jesus.
And I don't get... The writing of 3 makes it feel like it's ending here. Bye, everyone.
I can understand, and I can understand Toy Story as a franchise. You can explore other stuff, but I feel like with Toy Story 3, I think with Toy Story 3, that felt like the end of an era. It's the end of Andy's toys. You could do a million other toys.
But even that, there was still, even as a kid, I thought, why are they making a 3rd one? That's what I thought when I was a kid. How old was I when it came out? 2010?
Yeah, the Toy Story 3 came out 2010.
Yeah, so I would have been 13. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm happy. Toy Story 3, my childhood, being made another film. But I was also like, why are they making another film? Because I thought Toy Story 2 was perfect. It's one of my favorite animated films of all time.
I think Toy Story in general, I think 3 was such a good ending that I just think 4 is just 4. People say it's a cash grab, but I don't think it's a cash grab. I just think that, it's uninspired. I think it's uninspired, not a cash grab.
You don't need to, like, when an animated film about a kid or something, you don't need a second film to be like, hey, the kid's grown up now. This is what happens after. You don't need that.
Yeah, you don't need it.
It's a happy film. It's pretty much a fairy tale.
Yeah.
The fairy tale ends happily ever after. There's the old god is gone. The toys of that girl are now with Andy, and they're happy. And it should have ended there. That's my personal opinion. And if you like Toy Story 3, grats. I also like Toy Story 3. I thought it was a decent film, but I just didn't like it.
It's literally, I think from as much as I don't really like to, not I'd say as much as anything, but I think Toy Story 3, it's right in saying Toy Story 3 was literally just flipped Toy Story 2. It was like the main criticism of Toy Story 3 was that it technically brought nothing new to the table apart from, it was literally Toy Story 2 was the PS2 and Toy Story 3 was the PS4 remake of it. That's literally what it was.
It's also it's just a case of like I'm definitely am a triggered old man who's upset that they're
yelling at a cloud.
They're continuing to make my old childhood films into new
films.
I'm definitely one of that. Yeah. But also I feel like I have a valid reason to be upset at that. Yeah. It's like Ice Age 1 and 2, awesome.
Oh,
and
God.
Then wait. They're still making these films. And the other day, when you said to me, because I thought there was only 3 or 4, you were like, no, there's 5. And I was like, when did the 5th one come out? When did that come out?
It's like Ice Age, then Meltdown, then Dawn of the Dinosaurs, then...
that's the last one I watched, the dinosaur.
Yeah, I genuinely like Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I watched that in cinemas. I watched that in cinemas. Well. I think that's the only time I've ever been actually fully jump scared and I screamed in the cinema in the 3rd one, because I think this is very, very... very precise. But there's one scene in Dawn of the Dinosaurs that we watched in the cinema. I was in the front seat, and parents were there as well. And it's a scene where I can't remember where Manfred's girl's there, but she wakes up and she's like, I think it was Ellie. So Ellie's just like there. And it's like, oh, is everyone there? And it's just pitch black. Then you see two eyes, and then the dinosaur comes out of nowhere and just eats Ellie, and then Manny wakes up.
I think that film makes sense, and
it made sense because it was evolution.
Yeah, and that's what I liked, but I don't know what the other two films are about.
Continental Drift was like, Continental Drift, whatever. But the last one, I can't remember what it was. It was literally about, it was space. It went to space, and it was a meteor that was going to fall and kill everyone, and they have to somehow stop it.
Fucking hell.
And I was like,
the first one, you don't really like the first one.
No, I love the first one.
The first one's my favorite one, because the first one, I feel like the first one is genuinely quite a beautiful story.
I think it's a quality film.
I like that the humans don't say anything in it. And I know that probably never happens in ISO. I don't think the humans ever say anything in it.
No, not the humans. There's many animals now.
It was like the ending of when they get the girl to the humans.
Was it a girl? I thought it was a kid. I thought it was a boy.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a boy.
Oh, if it's a boy or girl, it doesn't matter.
No,
we're not
misgendering, man.
Yeah, but I can't tell if it's boy or
Things
girl.
were simpler then.
But things were simpler then.
So when they kept back, I think that was a heartwarming scene where it's like it brought, like all the hunters were there and they were about to shoot spears at like Manny, and then he just brings out the kid, and then they're like, oh my god. Like, do you remember the end of Ice Age 1 where he just goes there and then he breaks one of the weapons, and you think it's going to be another fight scene where the humans are like, oh,
that's just after Diego fought.
Yeah, after Diego fought the thing, and the humans helped him, and then they go there, they finally find him. It's a reunion, and he just picks him up out of his back and then shows it, and they're like. Genuinely, when that scene happened, I was like, "Oh,
it was heartwarming."
It was heartwarming. I was like, "Oh, it's actually no twist endings where the tiger comes out of nowhere and just goes And it was genuinely calm.
And Ice Age 1, 2, and 3 has a continuity, a progressive stage.
Yeah,
whereas Toy Story 2 to 3, there's not really much.
There's no continuity other than the fact
Toy Story 1 and 2 is about the
direct sequel.
Yes.
That was the direct sequel.
And it's also the evolution of the personalities.
Yeah.
The first one was about Buzz Lightyear. The second one was about Woody. Yeah.
Both realizing that they are toys and they know what their place is.
But what was the third one?
The third one was
die.
No, they know. It's like, oh, let's go escape. We've been sent to this thing that one thing I hated about the third one, how it was all based on a misunderstanding. All the toys felt that Andy had abandoned them when he accidentally put it in the wrong bin, and his parents took the wrong bin out to the trash and took his thing, and it just so happened that
it's so cheap when you think about it.
And it just so happened that Mrs. Potato Head had one eye that was still stuck in the house. Yeah. And every time she covered her eye, she could see inside the house where Andy is. It had like a teleporting scene where she's there, and it's like, oh no, it was literally the same problem as Toy Story 1, where it was a misunderstanding with the toys and Woody.
And then Woody went to the house next door.
Yeah, and it was like, Toy Story 3 was literally that, and I felt that it was kind of cheated. If you rewatch the film, you'll realize, wait,
there's a combination of 1 and 2.
This is literally just 1 and 2 all over again, which is why at least 4 has something slightly original going for it, where it's like a toy having an existential crisis, because it's not a toy, it's a thing.
But is it still about Buzz and Woody?
It's not about Buzz and Woody.
But they're not in it.
No, they are, but it's mainly about. I think
I haven't even watched.
Okay, so they're marketing it as a toy. It's a toy that doesn't think that it's a toy.
Is it a cool design? All I've seen is the animation.
It's the
I looked at the art style, turned it off.
I was like, it's basically a spork. It's a spoon. It's a spork. But what Bonnie has done, like the new kid that has all the toys, she put googly eyes and sewed like a mouth made out of string. Oh yeah. And then made it as a toy.
Sorry, I have watched the trailer. No,
and it came to life, and it was like,
sorry, it was that forgettable.
Yeah, and
I'm coming off so salty right now.
Yeah, I know. It's basically just a suicidal toy that doesn't think that it's a toy. Yeah, no, he's generally suicidal. All the posters have made it look like he wants to like literally die and goes a toy and everything. I was like, oh my god. Like, wow. But it's like Disney in general and just remakes and stuff. It's like whereas Disney have so many IPs that they could make into full stuff and they're not utilizing it. Like the only one that I'd say that's being utilized really well for Disney is I don't even know. Like I can't think of
Disney
one.
Disney have a load of I've noticed this actually, other than Marvel. Disney have a load of random franchises which are all fucking dead. They have Alien, they have X-Men, they have Star Wars, and these films all do well, but as a franchise and as a storytelling in the films,
they're dead.
They're dead.
They're like when the new film is announced, it's like, Oh, okay.
The last good Alien thing was a game.
Was the game Isolation?
Yeah.
Covenant wasn't good. Prometheus was.
Prometheus was cool.
It was cool, but it had.
I didn't even know Prometheus was an Alien film until the ending.
Oh, I clocked that Prometheus was Alien mainly because it said Ridley Scott and it said, the new saga in the Alien universe. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
So were they trying to make an Alien verse?
It is an Alien verse.
Oh, can we stop?
Well, it is. Like, have you not watched Aliens versus Predator?
Is that in the same universe as Alien?
It is. They've made it canon, but the films did so shit that they've retconned it.
Can we stop making universes?
Well, Marvel proved that it makes a lot of money.
Marvel are the only one that can do it.
That's because they've done it for 10 years.
Didn't they make a dinosaur verse or some shit for some film?
Dinosaur? You mean Monsterverse?
That's it.
Monster. They're making it with Godzilla and King Kong. They have been planning that one. I think I have faith
King
in
Kong
that.
versus Godzilla?
I do have faith in the in the
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I have faith in the Godzilla one mainly
was
because
was the Godzilla film good from a few years ago?
2014 one was good. Only people just complained about too little Godzilla, but they felt it was a good, competent film. Kong Skull Island, I think, apart from some of the CGI, I think that was a damn good film.
I bought my dad Godzilla on DVD for Christmas. Don't know if you ever watched it. If you're watching, I hope you watched that film because I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Kong Skull Island was generally a class film, and the new Godzilla King of the Monsters looks good.
Did you like the 2005 King Kong with Jack Black?
Yeah, I did.
I like that film. That was dope.
I remember watching that and I genuinely felt upset at the ending. Okay, we woo.
Our mic's disconnected. We didn't say anything.
Our mic's disconnected. We didn't make a single bad joke whatsoever.
We've made 3 bad jokes in this cast which got cut. You can guess what they're about.
Yeah.
You won't guess what they're about.
Yeah. So I think we've done stuff about remakes. We've done stuff about universes. Should we go on to... I've got a bunch of questions and topics there that people want us to talk about.
Are they just random questions? I don't care if they are. I'm just wondering.
They're not random questions. They're related with film.
You guys need to up your questions because sometimes when we tweet on the coffee club, it's like, ask us questions for the cast, and you're like, what's your opinion on James Marriott?
Yeah. What is your opinion on James Marriott?
My opinion on James Marriott?
Yeah.
He's all right.
Oh, well,
he's
good.
Okay.
Good question. Good answer to the question. Let's see. Let's see. TV shows and films you watched as a child that you find nostalgic.
Like every single anime.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I wouldn't even just say anime.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh GX, Pokemon, Beyblade.
Oh yeah.
Codename Kids Next Door. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Foster's Home for the Imaginary Friends.
Powerpuff Girls.
Original Ben 10. 20, I think 2006.
Are these only cartoons we're on about?
Yeah. It's anything. TV shows and films.
Drake and Josh, iCarly.
Were you a Nickelodeon person?
Oh yeah, big time.
I wasn't even a Nickelodeon or Disney Channel person. I think I got into Disney Channel very late into the noughties. We basically, because we used to have quite a bit of money before my parents broke up, and then and then we had Sky until 2003 or 2004, I think. Yeah.
So I got the early seasons of Drake and Josh, and then I continued to watch them online. That's when I came on streaming. But then in 2009 or 2008, I think around the time of the beginning of iCarly, basically, for some reason, I don't know why. I think it was because we didn't have internet for 2 months in our area because something got fucked up. Sky gave us free Sky TV with every channel for 2 years.
Oh my god!
Including Sky Sports and that. And that's when I got into football. Then that's when I started watching iCarly and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Interesting, because I got into Sky about 2004, but I didn't have all the channels. I've had it with because Sky have all these premium plans and everything.
Do you know how expensive it used to be?
It was expensive.
It's cheap now.
It's cheap compared to what it used to be.
I was shocked how much we pay for Sky TV and internet. It's like 60 quid for everything.
We used to have Sky TV and broadband for about 13 years under the same contract.
So expensive.
It's very expensive, and I'm lucky that I got out of it. But I think I grew up more with I think Cartoon Network, Boomerang, CBBC, and some Nicktoons.
Yeah.
That's basically my one.
Nicktoons was dope.
Nicktoons was actually elite. Nicktoons was elite programming.
Avatar: The Last Airbender was where
fairly good. Golden Age, Fairly Odd Parents, Golden Age, SpongeBob. We had all of those back then, and then leading up to the film.
I don't know if you like Avatar. Do you ever watch it?
I watched it. I watched all of it.
I would say I honestly dead set believe, and I'm not including anime here.
Yeah. In terms of Western
Avatar-
cartoons, I think Avatar: The Last Airbender is the best one.
Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender, best cartoon ever made.
You'd be hard pressed to find a cartoon that's
What's better? Tell me a suggestion.
in fact, you know what? I'll give in the comments. Try and change our mind that Avatar: The Last Airbender is the best Western cartoon to come out.
I don't think anything can. I'm genuinely trying to think. There's not. I don't think there's another cartoon series which has such a progressive and direct storyline, which is clearly planned out
and
good
done
writing,
to completion
and
with
also,
a satisfying ending.
and also has life, like it has things in there which impact your life. Like there's like life lessons in it.
Yeah.
With Uncle Iroh. The fan. Remember the episode where it was fan made when there was 4 parts and it was all different people made by fans.
I remember watching that one live, and that was the time when my skybox broke. But
Uncle Iroh's when he's like over his son's grave and he's playing the song.
God,
that was too emotional.
That was emotional.
There was some deep moments in Avatar. Azula's last fight scene.
Oh,
dude,
God.
Azula had like mental issues. She had like she had fucking what's the mental illness?
Amnesia.
No, but the mental illness where you see and hear things.
What, hallucination?
No, dude. There's
schizophrenia.
Azula had schizophrenia, and as a kid,
you're like,
you don't realize.
Yeah,
that.
you don't realize that.
But
when
then
you watch it back,
rewatch it when you're older, you're like,
what
holy
the
shit!
hell?
This girl was like, she had mental issues, and like there was some deep lining stuff throughout the whole show, and you just don't clock as a kid. You're just like, this is awesome. But when you watch it back as an adult or an older teenager,
you literally just go there and you're like,
this is deep.
You're just like that. You have that feeling after you watch an episode.
She was a sociopath. There was manipulative actions when she controlled May and Ty Lee.
Yeah,
like the whole thing was like, it was so good because it seems so real. Yeah, like despite how crazy the concept
and
of
the
controlling
animation was actually pretty. It was decent.
For the time, it was really good.
It's
aged now because of Korra, and the animation style Legend of Korra.
I was about to say we don't talk about Korra here.
I love Korra.
Do you?
Season 3 of Korra is like my top 3 in the whole Avatar series. With the Red Lotus.
I didn't like.
You didn't like Zahir's storyline.
Honestly, I didn't. Honestly,
how? That was like such an adult themed Avatar.
I know, but I felt that. I think the standard I set from consistently watching like The Last Airbender so much, I feel like Korra just didn't really hang on to that much.
It didn't in season 1 and 2.
In season 1 and 2, but I think three up the bar. But I don't think it's in the top Avatar seasons. I think all of The Last Airbender takes that.
I would watch season 3 over season 1 of Last Airbender. Honestly.
I would say season 1 because a lot of animated shows it takes a while to get into it.
The problem with getting people to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender is because season 1 it seems like a kids show.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with me getting people to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1 is so shit.
Yeah. It's not shit.
It's not shit, but it's more kiddie. It's kiddie.
Especially the first episode. It seems so kiddie, and people aren't willing to watch past these few episodes when it gets really good, when they start going to the Earth Kingdom and stuff like that. People, it's hard to, and I understand people don't want to sit for a 2005 kids cartoon, but you should. It's fucking awesome.
Let's see. What movies have the best soundtracks in your opinion from Marvel movies? I already know my answer. So it's. I
already know my answer.
Yep, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Volume 2.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Bates worked wonders.
The intro when fucking. Oh wait. It's
not soundtracks and score, but I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 takes both.
The soundtrack playing when when Groot's dancing. What song's playing?
Mr. Blue Sky,
Mr. Blue Sky
by Electric Light Orchestra. And also they actually James Gunn was the one who did the motion capture or the reference for Groot dancing in the post-credit scene for the first film and Groot dancing in the opening scene of the second film. But I think in terms of musical score and the soundtrack, I think Volume 2 takes it, Guardians of the Galaxy, because Tyler Bates is a god tier like composer.
In the last few years, Marvel have really had
really upped it. Although I think they dropped the ball with Captain Marvel. I generally can't remember the score.
Yeah, I'll give you on that.
I think even Infinity War, I remember the score for everything, but
I remember the score for that.
And Black Panther 2, I remember the score, but like
Sorry.
I was just saying, Black Panther 2, I would definitely remember the score for all of the main stuff. Black Panther had a distinct theme. Same with Infinity War.
The theme when what's his name? Fucking Killmonger is stealing the vibranium.
Yeah,
the theme there is so dope.
It's so good. Oh god!
But it's like I remember watching a video essay, and the dude, it's like in 2017, and the dude's like, tell me a Marvel theme, you won't remember it, and it's like, no, now I do remember.
Now I do remember.
If anything, the Infinity War opening sound, or when Thor arrives in Wakanda, is like the new Star Wars.
Well, that is the Avengers sound. Is the Avengers theme. So
the Avengers theme is like the new Star Wars theme.
Yeah, and I think that scores in general. I have on my Spotify. I do have select scores from them. Like I have one song from the Age of Ultron soundtrack, which I really liked. But in terms of,
I think we might have the same.
Yeah. Is it Sacrifice?
Yeah.
Yep, I really like that one. But I think in terms of songs, I think the most songs that I have from a score is probably Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And even Volume 1 as well, because...
Is TV shows included on that?
TV shows may be included.
They said TV show?
No, they didn't. They just said Marvel. They just said Marvel movies.
If I'm going to say TV show, Game of Thrones Season 5, Hard Home.
I'd say Season 6, Light to the 7.
Oh, yeah, true. But I think Hard Home's quite an underrated.
Yeah.
You know Hard Home?
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
But it's oh, God. I think in terms of Marvel's really upped their game for the score. And I remember the Russos tweeted a few days ago saying that the score for Endgame's complete. So we'll see.
It's quite late.
Yeah. Oh no. It's always happened like this.
Oh, really?
I think that it's always like they've always I think the Infinity War soundtrack was completed because the composers can't really work with just a spec copy of the film. They need to time it to everything. The only film that they've done this for probably was Volume 2. And in not a Marvel film, Baby Driver, because Volume 2 the script was written around the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So he got the song ideas and then he made the script around them.
Yeah.
So it was like,
they did that in Infinity War, didn't they? When Captain America turns up and when they hit them, a certain beat happens.
Oh no, that's on the composer. The composer added that in. Yeah.
What else questions have we got?
Let's see. Well, this is just about the podcast in general. Are you guys ever going to have special guests, and who would you like to have come on?
I mean, we've already had Alex.
We already had Alex. I think Marriott could be.
Yeah, Marriott wants to come on. I think the plan for Endgame is Marriott and Alex both want to come on.
Yeah, it'll be so interesting because I think we'll probably record the Endgame one immediately after we go.
At 4 in the morning.
Yeah, 4 in the. We'll actually do.
I'll
4
set
in the morning.
the cast up before we leave.
I will. I'm gonna sleep through the day and we'll go through the night just talking about it.
Yeah.
We've just so much to say. I'll probably release it on the same day as the film.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah. I think in terms of guests as well,
I'd love to get a film YouTube like nitpicks on or something.
No, I'd love to get nitpicks on. Maybe if Brown Table can come all the way over to do it.
If we're ever in the US and one of our buddies from the film community would say if we go to VidCon and one of our pals from the video SE community want to come on, I'd love to have Brown Table or High Top Films on or something like that. I don't even know if they know this podcast exists, but I love their videos and they're good people from what I've seen.
Some films you think are really overrated and you don't get the hype around.
I'd say Avatar, but I don't even think there's hype behind that anymore.
There's not been hype.
I think people universally agree that film is average.
It's average.
Yeah.
No, everyone agrees. I think the public opinion is that the film is average. It just made lots of money because A, it's James Cameron, and B, it was a spectacle.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But I think in terms of overrated films that I genuinely don't get the hype around, I'm trying to think. That's like everyone's gone to.
Titanic.
What?
Titanic.
Ooh, that's controversial.
I don't know if anyone had that.
Although I do say Titanic, a lot of people have said they haven't seen Titanic. As in, I haven't sat down to watch the full film myself.
It's good if you like a romance film.
Yeah,
it's strange, isn't it? It's very strange that the film around a disaster where tons of people died is now a romance film.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can.
Do you not think that's a bit fucked?
Yeah, or it's like, oh, you only think about how these two characters shagged instead of loads of people dying and accidents.
Yeah, like. It's actually kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that they turned it. I'm not going to make another Reggie joke. I'm not going to. I'm just move on. Put a question on.
Let's see. Someone just asked something about the beginning of the podcast. How stressed was Fraser when he couldn't get tickets at the start?
I was stressed.
You were. I remember we were all typing. I think that's the most caps lock we've used in 1 hour.
It was. I was spamming like fuck. I was mad.
Yeah,
I was really worried that we were going to get one. I'd cry.
Let's see. Worst movie you forced yourself to stay and watch. Worst movie you just walked out of.
What's the fourth Transformers called?
Age of Extinction.
What's the fifth one called?
The Last Night.
That's the one.
The Last Night. I walked out the last night.
That was like 5 hours long.
Because it hurt my eyes because you know how in some films they change the aspect ratio in IMAX, like in The Dark Knight when IMAX scene happens they widen the aspect ratio to IMAX. They did that with Captain Marvel as well for the scenes that were shot shot in
I
IMAX.
know, it's quite annoying.
With Transformers, it was every other scene was changing. The black bars are going up, down, up, down. And then when there was one scene, I think it was Anthony Hopkins' character, when he was saying something like, "Oh, we've got something in a map," and it clearly wasn't his voice, and it was someone else's voice, and it was dubbing over what he's saying. I was like, I thought the cinema was broken, so I left. I was like,
really?
Yeah, I left.
What was it even about? Was it about Galvatron?
Yeah, it was.
Galvatron's fucking cool in the cartoons, man. That's one cartoon I used to love as a kid, Galvatron.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I used to watch the Batman, Spider-Man, and Transformers comics, and Galvatron and Transformers was dope. Like, do you remember when CITV used to put Transformers on?
Oh, I miss CITV so much when it was good. Oh, you've actually awakened you've awakened some nostalgia in me that I didn't know I still had.
5 o'clock when my parents.
5
my
o'clock,
parents are aliens.
Tunatic.
Do you not remember My Parents Are Aliens?
Yes, My Parents Are Aliens. You had like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoons. You had
I was never a big TM. I used to like the comics.
You had Tricky TV. You had
I was a big comic kid.
Yeah, I was. I miss Stephen Mulholland and everything. Let's see.
Comics were cooler when they were more. Because comics aren't paperback anymore, are they?
They're not paperback.
They're hardback.
Hardback most of the time. They're hard to get as well. So
they're expensive.
They're expensive. That's why
They don't release many now, do they?
They don't. Oh no! If you do check the Marvel website, they do release it.
Really?
They do release it. It's just hard to get.
They don't sell them on Amazon.
They don't, because Disney published them themselves under their publishing label.
That's why the comic book industry.
That's why Disney's killing it. The only big one's Dark Horse.
If you want the comic book industry to do well, start making them available on Amazon.
Yeah.
If comic books were sold on Amazon
Prime,
I would buy every single one.
Yeah, if it was on Prime.
Because I'd want to collect them and I'd want to read them, but I don't know where to fucking buy comic books from.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been in one comic book store in my whole life, official big comic book store, and that was in Moscow.
Oh, I thought it was good. Forbidden Planet.
And that was in a tiny... I don't even know if I was in Moscow. It was the day before I left, and my friend, she randomly, like, we get on the... we go somewhere and we end up in this really small area which seems like a small town, and there's like this Russian comic book store. She buys a comic in there or something. What do you call a comic which is anime?
Or manga.
Yeah, she buys some manga.
Yeah.
And there was Spider-Man in there, but it was fucking Russian, so I couldn't read it. But yeah, I like comics. Give me more comics, please, Disney.
Yeah, please. Netflix originals. What are your favorites and what are your worst ones?
I'd say Stranger Things season 1.
Yeah, I remember. I saw it on your Netflix history. You've just been watching it. I literally
just rewatched it.
Netflix originals for me, it's like, I'd say that's going to be hard pressed to find a good Netflix original that I enjoyed recently. I'd say...
What, do you reckon they've gone downhill?
I reckon they've gone downhill because what Netflix do, they throw a lot of shit and one of them sticks.
Do you watch the Sunderland documentary?
I watched the Sunderland documentary.
I enjoyed that.
I think that was class.
None of our subscribers know what that is.
Yeah, hopefully. I think recently one that I say that was good, that was okay, I've said this in the previous episode, was Love, Death and Robots. But
you keep telling me to watch.
Yeah, I do. I rewatched it again.
Sorry for interrupting you, but fucking hell,
Daredevil.
Devil Crybaby thing.
Devilman Crybaby.
That's it.
The anime. That's good. That's class. That's class.
Very fucking weird, and don't watch it if you're 18.
Yeah, don't watch it. Well, it is 18. It's 18 rated for a reason.
It's gotta
don't
be 18
watch it.
rated.
Well, yeah, of course it is. And also it's on Netflix, so they get away with it. Same with Love, Death and Robots, because you should definitely want to watch that with your parents, because they go through they basically one bad thing about the show is that they're like, hey, look at us, we're on Netflix, we're not on TV, so we can put gore and cock and tits and stuff. It's like, Love, Death and Robots was really weird with that. There were some episodes where they didn't even need it. It was like, you're there, you're watching it normally, it's a normal episode, then the next scene is just a big fat cock in the middle of the screen, and you're like, okay. It's like I was like, wow, okay, you're on Netflix, I get it. That's the one thing I hated about like Love, Death and Robots in general. Also, you could tell that it was written by Californians because of just
the overuse of nudity in film and TV.
I wouldn't say film and TV. I say Netflix especially, because
they've adopted season 1 of Game of Thrones mentality.
Yeah, but no, the reason why is because Netflix don't have the same rules as traditional TV does,
which is cool.
But when you have a show that's just like, oh look, you can see all the titty you want now, it's like, why don't you just watch porn at this point?
Like it's just dumb.
It's like, oh, you want to see it in classic TV. I get that younger people, when they used to watch old TV shows, I've noticed that a lot of the shows that were like really like weird, all of those weird kind of shows like Totally Spies, those weird animated shows back then, and they were like, You realize that they were kind of messed up. I realized who was making them. It was the French.
Really?
I noticed there was either a Canadian the Canadian agency, or a French agency. And then I went down the rabbit hole of French cartoons, and my God, the French are like the Western equivalent of Japan with the content in their animated shows.
Really?
Yeah. As in, I'd say by that I mean as in French cartoons. I think one that I saw on Netflix that I don't know why, it was like a meme in some websites, was Miraculous Ladybug. That is a kid show through and through. But some of the episodes are like literal BDSM in some of the episodes. I'm like,
what, French cartoons?
It's French. It's French.
Is it all French cartoons?
Not all French cartoons, but all of the cartoons that just so happen to have it turn out to be French.
Oh shit.
So it's like,
because obviously Japan have like
it's same thing. It's like hentai anime, that kind of stuff. It's like a lot of the weird stuff you see in Japan just so happens to be anime. It's like, it's just kind of like cartoon mentality. I've noticed that a lot of the weird stuff, like the fetish bait, that kind of shit that you see on cartoons.
Yeah,
the agencies turn out to be Canadian or French, and I'm just like, well,
Canadian.
Canada, yeah, Canada, and there's like Canada companies as well.
What was Devilman Crybaby?
No, that's Japanese. That was Japanese.
Oh,
it's an anime.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. Let's see. Someone just said something unrelated to film, but he said, "Are you guys going to be at Insomnia? If not, what are you gonna? If so, what are you gonna do there?"
We're there every day.
We're gonna be there every day. We're gonna be at Insomnia. You probably won't recognize. Well, you'd probably recognize me if you recognize Fraser. Yeah. But yeah, I'll just say, we'll be trying to just find me and I'll say hi. We'll both say hi. It'll just depend on what we're gonna be doing there.
We'll probably be in the event. If not, we'll be at the pub.
Yeah, we'll just be at the pub. I think, should we do one more question or
a few more?
Okay, I think I remember Fraser saying that he always ends up going to the toilet during a film. If so, have you ever regretted going, as in because you missed something in a movie, not because you thought it was alright if you just pissed yourself?
Never.
You never?
Never have I regretted going to.
Do
you know why?
Why?
I am perfecto when it comes to timing in films, because I know I've in my mind, because I'm such a master at this point, I know when the film is slowing down and I know when the film is finding pace.
Yeah, well, that's what films tend to do. But it's like, I know my brother, oh my God, I feel sorry for my little brother. We went to watch Rogue One, and my brother really needs to use the toilet. He's thought that was the end of the film. You know, when the Death Star destroyed the planet?
Yeah.
At the very end of the film, when they were hugging and the screen went white, he thought that was the cue. So when the screen went white and the nuke happened, he sprinted down the stairs and ran out of the cinema. I went to continue watching because I'd already watched the film once. The Darth Vader scene happened. He missed the Vader scene. He missed the Vader scene. All he saw was the when the guy like gets stabbed through the door and gives him the key. He came back to that, and I was like, "You just missed it."
Rogue One was fucking good.
You just missed it.
I don't like Star Wars, but Rogue One was fucking cool.
I think Rogue One had the best. I think,
and it led into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it led directly into that with the Uncanny Valley CGI though, but it was like,
yeah, but it added up some plot holes, which added up some plot holes
and how they got the plans and how they got the plans as well.
Yeah, it was cool. Like I like that. That's fucking cool. If you want to go back and if you want to work with previous stories, great.
Don't work with the current. I think that's the problem with reboots and remakes. Why don't you remake something that was bad into something good? And why don't you reboot something? Yeah, and why don't you?
Darth Maul was good in the.
Yeah, and so
was he good in the cartoons? From what I remember, he was.
He was alright.
Him and his brother.
Yeah, I think so.
A bit of a weird one, but yeah. I never missed anything. I'm kind of worried about Endgame because.
Yeah. Oh no, I am. I've never been to the toilet ever during a film. Really? Ever. I don't know. It's like a superpower. I just don't use the toilet even if I drink all the stuff I can possibly drink. Yeah. I can hold it for so long. Let's see. This is pretty much the same kind of questions. Favorite movie or TV series that was adapted from a book? I'm pretty sure Lord of the Rings is the answer.
Oh, is it for films? I thought you were TV show.
For movie. TV show, it said movie / series. So movie / series, I say Lord of the Rings is probably the answer for.
No, not for me.
Oh, Harry Potter?
Yes.
I'd say Harry Potter. And if you say, and to be fair, Marvel is adapted from a comic, so you can cheat and say not Marvel. I'd say, I'm a weird answer for my one, but I'd say Casino Royale.
Really?
Yeah, Casino Royale, Daniel Craig, the first one. It's extremely different from the book, but in a good way. It does it so well, and I think that Casino Royale is one of the best Bond film. I think it's the best Bond film.
Arguably.
Yeah, arguably.
I've seen
Casino Royale.
No, I don't like Bond.
I say Casino Royale, GoldenEye, Skyfall, Quantum of Solace, Spectre. That's
You don't like Spectre that much?
I hated Spectre.
Oh,
I hated Spectre. Criminally wasted Christoph Waltz. You cannot waste Christoph Waltz in a film.
I mean, you can't really waste James Bond, can you?
And they wasted him.
Yeah, he's such a.
They made
especially his final film. Wait, is his final film?
It's coming out.
Oh,
Bond 25. The director's good.
When's it coming out?
2021. 2021.
That's the thing. I never thought.
Daniel Craig looks like he looks so young in Casino Royale, but when I watched him in Spectre, he looked like a pensioner. He's literally a pensioner. Yeah, and it's like.
He can't help it, but
he can't help it. But no, I think he's one of the actors.
De-aging techniques, please.
No, whoa. James Bond's CGI is shit enough on its own.
Really?
Yeah.
I've only watched a few films.
Well, to be fair, the CGI was really good at Skyfall because Roger Deakins was on cinematography.
I've watched Skyfall. And Skyfall was dope.
Yes,
I thought the selling point of Skyfall was the cinematography.
Yeah, exactly, because Roger Deakins was on it.
Ah, okay.
No, Roger Deakins was the best part of it. The cinematography was amazing, but it was like, apart from that, the film was a bit. Yeah, it was a bit, but it was because it was so well. It was well timed. It was the best time to release the film.
Yeah. The song was good too.
Yeah, and also it was the 50th anniversary of Bond on the right day at the right time.
Yeah.
A company that didn't do that was Star Trek. Beyond was on the 50th. I think it was the 50th anniversary. It was an anniversary of Star Trek, and they fucking freaked it. They literally freaked it. The film flopped as a result.
Yeah.
Best hilariously bad movie.
Spider-Man 3.
Hilariously bad? I wouldn't say it's bad. I'd say it's average.
You think Spider-Man 3 is average?
I'd say it's average. I wouldn't say it's a bad film. It's not like
I would say it's a bad film.
I wouldn't come out of the film saying it's shit. I'd say it's average.
I would.
I'll probably have to rewatch it, but I think it's just enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
It's amazingly enjoyable. That's what
elevates the film more than the other stuff. I'd say bad film is Suicide Squad.
Oh god, no, I can't watch that film.
In fact, no, I can't watch Suicide Squad. Hilariously bad film. The Room's cheating.
We're saying hilarious isn't enjoyable to watch.
I'd say hilariously as in like you can laugh at it.
I'm saying hilariously as in like it's enjoyable and I can rewatch it, and that's what Spider-Man is for me. Spider-Man 3. What else is there?
Well, I'd say bad films.
Alien vs Predator.
Have you watched Alien vs Predator?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh shit! I feel sorry for you. My god.
I'm trying to think of something else.
Skyline probably.
Paranormal Activity 3.
No, 3 was. I think. Okay, I'm gonna say 1, 2, and 3. They were good. 4 was shit. I watched 4 last night. It's on Prime. It's on Prime now.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. Is that the Ghost Dimension one?
No, the Ghost Dimension is.
Oh, that's
6.
the one with the fucking girl, isn't it?
Yeah, with the girl.
Oh,
and
that's so bad.
That one's bad. And come back. We're gonna rewind. So about Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. I went on a date. It shows my character development as a human being.
Yeah.
Because the first one came out in 2009.
8.
No, what?
7.
Okay, so I saw Paranormal Activity 2 for the first. I didn't see 1 in the cinema. I saw 2, and that came out in 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went on like a date. It was my first ever date.
Yep.
And then I went with some other person in 2012. Hello. You want to say hi?
You want to say hi to the podcast?
Come up to the mic.
Yeah.
We're talking about my many dates on Paranormal Activity. Did you ever take a girl out on Paranormal Activity for a date?
No, I don't date women.
Oh, okay.
James into the room and said a racial slur and left.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, but in general, I'd say, Paranormal Activity 4 was on Amazon Prime, and my God, I tried to watch that. I fell asleep, and I fell asleep at 2 a.m. watching the film, and I woke back up when I was in the very last moment. I woke back up to a bunch of screaming in my ear.
What film's that?
Paranormal Activity 4. So in the scene, have you seen Paranormal Activity 4?
I've seen all of them other than Ghost Dimension.
Yeah, so in Paranormal Activity 4, the girl is like, I think the girl and her dad goes to this house to go investigate what's been going on, and then the dad gets like dragged around by a poltergeist. And when I fell asleep watching Paranormal Activity because it was so boring. I woke back up to what was that? I woke back up
really?
like wait, what? And then I check my phone. I just see.
Fuck's sake.
I just see the dad like flying across the screen, and I wake up like groggy eyed, and I just go like that. Does I make that sound?
Yeah. And
it's like, I watched the rest of the film, and the jump scare at the end genuinely made me laugh so hard, because she turns around. He's like, Wyatt, turn around. What are you doing? Why aren't you running with me? She turns around, and there's just this middle-aged white woman walking towards her, just like slowly. Then she turns back around, and there's a jump scare. It's so funny. The ending of Paranormal Activity 4 is so funny.
Sorry, but it's just like hard because like James just came in. And we had to cut a load. I think we shouldn't cut it, but we should put bleeps over things. So like a 10-second bleep, and people can fucking guess.
They can guess what he's been
so
saying.
In this podcast, I think we may have censored 5 things, and I'm gonna make it an on.
I think this is the most censored podcast we've ever done.
It is purely out of the fact that I get scared that YouTube are gonna yeet us.
Yeah, the YouTube are gonna do something. They can't expect bigotry in a podcast. Come on,
we didn't say anything that was bigotry.
It's bigoted.
What? Oh no. No, we didn't say anything that bad.
No, we actually didn't, lads. We didn't.
What did we say? No, it was just some key words that I made. It was like,
well, don't say them now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say them.
Well, but we can assure you it wasn't that bad. So you have nothing to worry about.
Please don't doubt us.
Please.
But that's Faf's job to find these.
Okay, sorry. I was just sorry. I just checked my phone for like a notification.
You look shocked. What was the phone notification?
Wolves are beating Man U.
No fucking way.
A Smalling own goal just now. So.
Well, they're not
yes.
Well,
our audience probably won't understand it, but yeah, I just checked my phone while we were recording this.
This is our longest podcast.
This is definitely the longest one. I feel like we've been going for 2 hours.
Nah, we haven't. Just over an hour and 30 so far.
Well, yeah, but
let's make this our longest. What's our longest?
Longest one is
an hour and 37.
Yeah, and also I do need to make some cuts, so I think.
No, are you just gonna cut it and not bleep it?
I'm probably going to cut it. Well, no, I'm probably going to bleep it. It's more effort to bleep it, but
if you want to cut it, just cut everything.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not going to be as nice if you cut it. You have to keep it organic, I guess. Anyway, our longest podcast is I still believe it's the first one. No, our longest one was the second episode. In fact, we've been good with length. The first one was 1 hour 27 minutes and 34 seconds. The second one was 1 hour 29 minutes and 42 seconds. The third one's our shortest one at 1 hour and 7.
Wait, so this is our longest episode?
Yeah, this is our longest one.
Good
and
the
fourth one's exactly the same length as the second one. So it's like,
Jesus.
We're really good with length. We don't have anything to worry about talking about.
Yeah, but we can talk for years, to be fair.
Yeah, we could talk for years about film. We might stream it. It'll be interesting to stream this kind of stuff, really.
Yeah, that would be cool,
actually. A live coffee club and everything, just on audio only, just us chilling with like music playing and just games in the background or something like that. I feel like you could work with something like that.
Yeah,
really.
A live coffee club would be cool. We should do that.
If you got any suggestions for how we can take coffee club and everything, because I remember I had so going back to Avengers Endgame real quick, but I had the really stupid but really fun suggestion to try and watch Endgame in every cinema in London.
That'd be so funny, but like
so pointless.
Long.
It'll be so
you have to
long.
Think how long the film is.
Yeah, because it's 3 hours and 2 minutes, and if you want to get that in a day, that's like, let's say about
4 cinemas.
4 cinemas a day.
You're gonna be up for about just over 12 hours, I guess.
And I think that would be about 2 weeks. It'll take about, if we did that every day, it'll take us about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it would.
So it's like.
Do you want to wrap things up?
I think I
really need a week.
Yeah, I think we really need to wrap things up now because we've had plenty of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Sorry if there was any random cuts in this. It was just some things needed to be cut out.
And if it's not a cut, sorry for the random bleeps if that scared the shit out of you while recording. But
it's just so we don't get like
demonetized. I think demonetization is probably the biggest problem because
it's just keywords. Yeah, it's just keywords.
I'm not sure whether. Imagine if like YouTube's automatic detection was actually not lazy enough to go in through the entire podcast to check and everything.
That would be nice, but
that would be really nice. But I doubt that will happen. But I'd say in general, this is a good episode of the Coffee Club podcast in general.
I thought it was probably one of our best.
I think it was definitely probably the best.
Yeah.
I just got a text from my mother saying don't come home late. But yeah.
I mean, we're not late. This is the earliest we've ever recorded.
This is actually the earliest we've ever recorded. But in general, I'd say follow us on Twitter. We're actually on iTunes and Spotify now. So if I had the biggest blunder uploading the last one because at first I uploaded it, YouTube didn't process it in time. I did the wrong title. Then the thumbnail kept messing up. Then I had to check on SoundCloud to switch the title.
Disaster.
So yeah,
does Campcast upload on iTunes and Spotify?
Yes, they do.
Fucking bastards.
Yeah.
We just one up on something. Where don't they upload?
Deezer or something.
We're gonna upload on Deezer.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on every single one. We're gonna upload it onto, let's see, Amazon Prime. If we can get on imagine if we got it on Audible.
That'd be dope.
If we got our podcast on
Audible.
I don't know how to
Audible, please sponsor me.
Yeah, please sponsor us.
Yeah.
Sponsor the podcast.
I was just talking about my main channel, but you can sponsor us
as
well.
Because I'm the irrelevant one. I'm the.
You're probably good for. Because like if you keep reviewing films on your channel, for some reason sponsors love them.
Sponsors love film reviews in general, but yeah, I will be doing more film reviews down the line. I don't know about you.
Let's go for 1 more minute, just because I want to get to 1 minute, over 1 minute 40. We're on 1 minute.
Wow, that was very, very intense.
I don't know if anyone's going to hear that though, because I don't know if anyone's going to listen to this far.
I don't think anyone's gonna really listen to this far, but
people do. I've seen people reply.
People have binged the entire podcast, and in doing that, they watch all of the episodes. But in terms of schedule, when do you think we're gonna record? We'll upload this, because I've been trying to go for Tuesday, Friday. But we've been doing this like.
I think we should ask for opinions. I think we'll suggest Tuesday,
when do you
Friday.
guys want? We want to do this as frequent as possible. We're able to do it as frequent as possible now. But
I'd
when
say
would you want us to go for it?
Tuesday, Friday, and if we really wanted to, just upload a random episode between them, because like maybe we'll have loads to talk about on 1 week. Because maybe there'll be so much, and I don't really necessarily want to do 2 hour plus episodes, and that's not because I'm lazy. I just think in terms of projection of what you guys want to listen to, and if we cover Endgame and Game of Thrones in the same episode, it will be like a fucking clusterfuck.
And also, after Endgame, we will literally be up doing, I think after Endgame and Infinity War, which is a double bill in IMAX 3D, in the midst of Game of Thrones happening, we will have so much to talk about in that very coffee
We
club.
have loads to talk about now, and that's just based on promo.
And Shazam's coming out. We've got Shazam coming out.
Do a dedicated
We've got Pet Sematary coming out.
I'm looking forward to that.
We're going to watch both of them, and we're going to do some proper in-depth
It's a good
reviews
month for film.
It's a very good month for film. April and May is a damn good month for film. We've got lots to talk about. And
Summer looks kind of boring though.
That's true. There's not much. Everything is just.
Is next year
here.
good? Jesus.
Well, it was too early to tell.
Yeah.
But
Did they not announce them yet?
What?
Have they not announced anything yet?
Nope.
Really?
Nothing.
Venom
after
2?
Spider-Man. I don't really care about 2020 at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we'll wrap it up there then.
So thanks for watching this episode of the Coffee Club podcast. As always, it's on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud upon upload. If you don't see it on YouTube first, follow us on Twitter for regular updates. Subscribe to our YouTube channels in general, and I will see you in the next podcast, I guess.
Bye.
Peace out.